We have a number of buildings, historic buildings. Our original building that we usually call the Fort Building is a limestone building built in 1772, built as a Reformed church. By the 1840s, this site went into limited use up until 1857, when the congregation sold the building to the state of New York. The state of New York turned it into an arsenal throughout the Civil War period. And after the Civil War ended, the state was unloading a lot of their excess properties, and I think because of the historic nature of this building, they actually, by an act of the state legislature, deeded it back to the county of Schoharie to be used as a museum. So we've been a museum in some form since 1873. The Fort Building was the only building here on site, certainly from 1772 up until about 1970. And then the society acquired property across the street and started bringing in other historic buildings. So the first building was the building that we're sitting in now, the Badgley Annex. This one was built new in 1972. The building that existed here originally before this one was built about 1830. We call it our Warner House, and it houses our Scribner exhibit of early 20th century electronics. They moved that building from this site a couple hundred feet down the property and relocated it there. After that, they just started acquiring other historic buildings. We have an old law office from the town of Gilboa that was used as a law office as well as a polling place. We also added an 1860s era schoolhouse that we interpret around the turn of the century. We also added what we call our Hartmannsdorf house. Hartmannsdorf was one of the original 7 German settlements from 1712. And so that building was moved up here. That's one of our oldest buildings. And we also have a New World Dutch barn that dates from the late 18th century, and that basically was a workspace to process all of your grain. So that's pretty much the extent of our complex, and so we've expanded over the years. And then we also have an additional 20 acres of land that we use for special events, parking, reenactments, you name it. So we're fortunate to have everything that we do have.